So, be honest with me for a second. Are you currently rereading a 3-month-old text thread at 2:47 in the morning, just desperately searching for the exact moment it all went wrong? Have you ever had a group chat analyze the punctuation of a 2-word text with more rigor than a Supreme Court case? If you're nodding yes right now, take a deep breath. You are in a safe space for people who are, emotionally speaking, entirely unsafe. Welcome to our Survival Guide Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the brutal truths laid out in The Situationship Situation, a modern dating dystopia by Perel-Clutching. Now, listen, this isn't your standard flowery relationship advice. Think of this more as a gritty, satirical debrief for modern emotional warfare. It's for anyone who has ever heard, "It's not you, it's me," so many times that you've literally considered making it your ringtone. Okay, let's quickly run through our training curriculum for today. First, welcome to dating purgatory. Second, translating soft rejections. Third, the breadcrumb economy. Fourth, social media warfare. And finally, number 5, calculating your delusion. Let's dive right in. Section 1. Welcome to dating purgatory. Before we can treat the symptoms of your dating anxiety, we really need to define this romantic limbo we're dealing with. The source text defines a situationship perfectly. It's a romantic connection existing somewhere in that murky gray area between hanging out and an actual relationship. It features all the emotional intensity of a partnership with absolutely none of the commitment, clarity, or, let's be real, basic human decency. The author brilliantly calls it Schrodinger's relationship. It's simultaneously serious and casual until someone asks about it directly, at which point the whole thing just collapses entirely. It's an agonizing limbo born from modern option paralysis. Basically, the desire to get all the relationship benefits, like emotional support and a +1, without any of the actual accountability. Moving on to Section 2, translating soft rejections. Now that we know the landscape, we've got to expose the local language. "I'm not ready for a relationship right now." We've all heard it, right? This is perhaps the most weaponized phrase in all of modern dating history. It is the absolute Swiss Army knife of soft rejections, perfectly designed to put the problem entirely on timing rather than on their lack of interest. And there is a massive disconnect between what you hear and what they actually mean. What you hear is a temporary timing issue. You start thinking, oh, well, when they work through their personal issues, we'll be together. But the brutal truth of what they actually meant, "I am not ready for a relationship with you," specifically. The phrase "right now" is doing Olympic-level heavy lifting there to make it seem like a temporary delay. But spoiler alert, they will probably be entirely ready about 3 weeks after you stop talking, just with someone else. Let's look at another classic evasion technique. Let's just keep things casual. I mean, it sounds so breezy, so evolved and spontaneous, doesn't it? But make no mistake, it is highly, highly strategic. Because casual is a totally weaponized term. You hear a request for a fun, pressure-free dynamic to just enjoy each other's company. But what is the actual translation? It's, "I want access to your time, your emotional support, and your energy with absolutely zero accountability." It allows them to act like you're in a relationship when it's convenient for them, and then act like total strangers when it's not. They get all the consistency, and they deliberately deny you the security. Section 3. The breadcrumb economy. So, moving from deceptive words to deceptive actions, why do we actually fall for breadcrumbing? Well, it's rooted in real, documented psychology. It's called intermittent reinforcement, which happens when you get unpredictable rewards. This keeps your brain in a constant state of hypervigilance, endlessly analyzing microsignals, just waiting for the next win. Their unpredictable texting patterns act exactly like a highly addictive slot machine on your brain. You literally never know when the payout is coming, so you just keep pulling the lever, refreshing your screen, hoping for a notification. And think about the return on investment for breadcrumbing from their perspective. It's 10,000%. They spend, 0.3 seconds liking your Instagram story, and in return, you spend the next 4 hours of your day thinking about them, analyzing the micro-interaction with your group chat, and remaining emotionally available. It is quite literally venture capitalism for dating. Let's walk through the actual taxonomy of breadcrumbs, specifically the emoji hierarchy. A single low-effort emoji is used to sustain false hope for an entire fiscal quarter. Think about it. The 100 emoji? That actually requires them to read your message. The crying laughing face means they at least processed a joke. But as we move down the list, the effort just plummets. The fire emoji is just a fast vibe response. The skull means they definitely didn't read what you wrote. And the thumbs up? Oh man, that is borderline hostile. It's the absolute bare minimum required to keep you on the hook. And then there's the infamous YD, what are you doing? Text. Let's decode this based entirely on the time of day it's sent. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.? They're just bored at work. 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.? Their primary plans fell through, and you, my friend, are the backup. 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.? Yeah, they just want to hook up. The source makes this painfully clear. A late-night text is not genuine interest. It is merely a vibe check to see who is available. Do not mistake a midnight notification for romance.
Section 4. Social Media Warfare.
Let's take this battle to the digital front line and examine the calculated art of being cropped out. It usually happens in 4 distinct stages. Stage 1 is ghost mode. You spend the whole weekend together, but on their Instagram, you are completely digitally invisible. Stage 2 is evidence of human. This is where they post a picture of 2 coffee cups, leaving total plausible deniability. Stage 3 is partial visibility, where you only appear in the blurry background of massive group photos. And Stage 4 is the soft launch, where maybe your hand or the back of your head is shown. The text emphasizes this heavily. Staying off their social media isn't usually about privacy. It's about appearing available to other options. Let's see how this builds into a timeline of public claiming. In months 1 and 2, look, there's no pressure to be posted. You're just getting to know each other. By months 3 and 4, some subtle acknowledgement is pretty reasonable. But by month 6 and beyond, the text is firm on this. Total invisibility after 6 months is an absolute deal breaker. If they are actively posting on social media, but you never appear, you aren't with someone who doesn't do social media. You're with someone who doesn't do social media with you.
Section 5. Calculating your delusion.
This brings us to the climax of our explainer. We are putting aside all the excuses and forcing a mathematical confrontation with reality via the Situationship Severity Index, or SSI. The author treats this like a scientific assessment to prove a very specific point. Delusion is incredibly expensive. It costs you your time, your energy, and your self-esteem. You might be telling yourself, but my situation is different, or, well, they're just going through a lot right now. The calculator brutally points out that while you are pouring 100% of your emotional investment into the dynamic, they are giving you the absolute bare minimum to just keep you around. So, it is time for a tough love reality check. I want you to mentally open your phone right now and scroll through your messages with them. Count the ratio. Who initiates? Who asks questions? Who suggests actual plans? Now ask yourself, if a friend showed you these exact communication patterns, what would you tell them? You already know the answer. We accept breadcrumbs because we're optimistic, and we think they're going to grow into a full meal. But here's the thing. Breadcrumbs are not seeds. They don't grow. Which leaves us with this final, empowering thought. You deserve a full meal, not breadcrumbs. Walk away. Stop accepting the minimum viable effort. Because when you stop accepting breadcrumbs, you actually free yourself to find someone whose comfort zone includes celebrating you publicly and committing to you completely. So are you ready to demand the full relationship you actually deserve? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.